Hey, this end of the road haunts, and today I'm not copying the pixelated pumpkin. Stop saying that. Okay, maybe I'm copying him, a little bit, but that's a little bit. And I'm doing something, a little different. Although, I am making AI generated Spirit Halloween animatronics. Here, I'm just putting the animatronic names and seeing what they come up with. So, I think this will be fun. From what I've seen, some are pretty dull and whatever, and some are just eldritch horrors. But, So, just a quick disclaimer before I begin this, though. You may be commenting, why didn't you do Barnyard Butcher? Well, some of them I've done and just cut out of the video, because they're super boring, and what came up, like Pumpkin Nester, is literally just a bunch of pumpkins. But anyways, let's get into the first one. The first one I'll be covering here is Lord Raven. Now this is one of the more dull ones, but we, baby steps, we gotta work our way up. So, Lord Raven, let's see how he looks. So this one here is the results for Lord Raven. Now these are one of the more dull ones we have, but mind you, they do get better. And some of the later ones I've done are actually really cool. But Lord Raven is pretty alright. Personally, out of all these, my favorites are this one, A, because I just think it's really cool, the red background stuff. And B, this one, because I don't know, I just think it looks kind of cool, honestly. Like, more like a lord, per se, and, more like a raven. I don't know, I think it's pretty alright. The next one up here is Mr. Dark, which you'll see how he turned out. But this is the original guy, a reaper. And let's see what he looks like. The next one I put here is Mr. Dark. Now, this one is the one that I didn't have very high hopes for, but ended up being really cool, honestly. I think the previous round I did was a little cooler, but I do think there are some interesting ones here that actually look like genuine things. One thing I'd like to mention as well is some of these just deadass look like Sans from Undertale. Here's the first one. I mean, come on. The blue lighting and everything. Also, this one looks a lot like Sans as well. Though I do quite like this one, honestly, with the, hat and the coat. I actually think that if this was an animatronic, they made it just a little freakier. I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool. My favorites, though, are definitely A, this one. Because the face just looks super dastardly and mischievous. And I just find that super cool. I love the kind of suit he's in. The almost devil horn ears, almost. Not really sure what they are. But I think this one is really awesome. This one's also pretty alright. It kind of looks like it has a hat fused with a body. It's more green, but, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool anyways. But, yeah. Now on to the next one. The next one I have up here is Little Skelly Bones, one of my favorite animatronics of all time. And let's see how he turned out. Yeah, so here's Little Skelly Bones, and I didn't include it because that's cool, but it's just so damn cute. Look at this, dude. Look at that. This one, look at how it's smiling and stuff. These ones just look like they're dancing. But I mean, it's so cute, this outcome. So, at least I think. But, I quite like this, honestly. Okay, we can all agree that last one was kind of cute. But the next one we're covering is Nightmare Harvester, which, brace yourselves, because I was playing around with this before, and I'm just gonna say it's not what you're gonna be expecting. Okay. In the intro, I said how some of these are kind of meh, and some of these are Eldritch Horror. We've made it to the Eldritch Horrors. Nightmare Harvester. This is absolutely not what I was expecting at all. Oh my god! It's deadass just an eldritch horror. This is something straight from H.P. Lovecraft. Oh my god. It's super terrifying. I don't know if there's some kind of thing called, Nightmare Harvester or something, or, Harvester from a video game or movie or something that this is actually based off of. Because I know with, like, Nightcrawler, that happens with, like, the X-Men one. But, like, oh my god, this one's creepy. It's just so... It's almost like it's Nightmare Harvester's true form or something. I'm not even gonna pick favorites, because they're all just so insane. I love the ones that are, like, crab or spider-like. Love the ones that are weirdly humanoid-shaped, too. This just so damn awesome. Nightmare Harvester has such a good outcome. The next one here is Bloody Bag of Jokes. You know, fairly iconic clown with a body bag and all. So this is Bloody Bag of Jokes. And, you know, it's alright. Doesn't really have the jokes part, but it is a bloody bag. So, you know, I mean, you can't really go wrong in that. I don't really have a favorite, although the blood on this one looks really good. But, you know, it's an alright result. Bloody bags can still be pretty freaky without the clown head sticking out of them. Next we have Possessed Pumpkin. He turned out okay. Now this one isn't very much, although I just want to include it because I love how this one looks. The pumpkin A is super realistic on all of them. B, some of the faces are actually pretty cool. This one's pretty good, you know? I mean, pretty simple, but I think it's, like, fairly freaky. And also this one. It also looks really good. So I know I'm just following the format of that pixelated pumpkin video, just including some generic pumpkins, but I'm not copying them, alright? Then we have Coat Rack Monster, which is one that I quite like. You know, I'd want to see how it turned out. Not the best, but let's see. So this is Coat Rack Monster. Thought it would have a pretty good outcome, but it didn't. But I mean, it's a monster, and it's on a coat rack, so I mean, you know, can you really judge it? Pretty child-friendly, you know, not really as, you know, scary as the original, but okay. The next one here is Rotten Ringmaster, which is one that I quite like. I don't know why. I think he's just really cool. Let's see how he turned out. Now this one is alright. It's not the most rotten looking, but it is pretty, you know, Ringmaster looking. This has to be one of my favorites because it's just so distorted and, like, weird. Another one I think would make for a really good animatronic. But, you know, I think it's really cool. It almost looks like it has a mouth and, like, a green eye, which is pretty freaky. But, you know, not the most successful one, but, you know, alright. They always say, leave the best for last, which isn't quite true here. I left the second best for last, because I do think the Nightmare Harvester one was my favorite. But again, for a pretty good prop, this is Smouldering Zombie. So this here is Smouldering Zombie, and, yeah, it's a zombie that's smoldering, and they're awesome. I mean, wow, let's analyze some of my favorites we have here. This one is just super freaky in my opinion. Well, not just because of the burning, but the, like, misshapen face and stuff. Almost looks like a demon type thing. I'd so love it now if Spirit did an animatronic with his head sculpt. It's just so cool, honestly. Then we have this one, which doesn't really look like a zombie, but another one that Spirit needs to do an animatronic of. I mean, wow. It's almost like you can almost see the muscles on, like, the skull. Or it's like a ripped off face, but it's like it's so awesome. But yeah, Smouldering Zombie is one I do not regret doing. But yeah, those were the AI generated props. I mean, I don't know, I think some of them were really cool, some of them kind of sucked. But like Smouldering Zombie and Nightmare Harvester, those are some really cool ones. Smouldering Zombie ones are animatronicable, but the Nightmare Harvester ones weren't really. Tell me what you think of this video, what you'd like to see in a part 2, even though some of those I might not be able to do because they just would not be interesting. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.